Yo, what up YouTube? It's Bryce. Going to be doing a deck profile on some generic macro rabbit. It's what I played at regionals last week. So I guess here we go. 3 Sabersaurus, 3 Cowazels. Not going to explain anything until I need to. 2 rabbit, obviously. Then 2 tour guide, no third target. Just you don't need the third target. Why? You really don't. I drew both one time in 9 rounds, and it was against water, and I was going to lose anyway. Yeah. 2 Thunder King tech, I guess, at this point. I've seen a bunch of decks that play card. This card's also very good, because I don't have card D, but I do have this card, and this card's amazing. It put in a ton of work all day. And then 3 Guaiba, obviously. 2 MST. You guys probably think I'm terrible for this, but it never, I felt, was a problem. Like, I MST'd 2 Tankies and Abyss Sphere. I only saw 1 Abyss Sphere all day, and you can't really argue that if I ran a 3rd MST, I would have had it. So yeah. 3 Lance, amazing. 1 book. I do play the book, just a book over stuff with Guaiba. It's amazing. Dark Hole Heavy, no Reborn in the main deck because it's macro and space issues. Both Solemns, Starlight Road, and 1 main deck Mind Crush. You guys are probably like, well, why are you main decking a Mind Crush and not a 3rd MST? This card's amazing is why I'm main decking the Mind Crush, really. So yeah, Mind Crush, I didn't even see it that much, honestly, main deck, because I do side 2 more, so you can't really argue, like, that I saw the main deck one or the side ones. But anyway, yeah, I saw the main deck one a couple times. There was 1 time that I did pro Mind Crush a Lance when he went to attack over something bigger, so that was cool. Then I saw his hand, and I did win that game, so yeah. Double Torrential, obviously. 2 Mirror Forest card is good. Bottomless, 2 of them. 2 Dimensional Prison. And then 3 Phoenix Chain. This card's amazing against everything except Fire Fist, kind of. And by that, I just mean the vanillas. Like, it sucks when you're sitting on, like, a Fiendish Chain as your protection and they summon a Gene Warp Werewolf. That's why this deck just flat out loses to Fire Fist, and that's why this deck is dying. This Fire Fist is just a better version of this deck, really. Like, not that it does the same thing, but that it does what this deck's trying to do better. And then 3 macro. This card poops on essentially everything. I honestly, okay, I went 3-0 the first 3 rounds, and then 4th round I played water, and I didn't see the macro at all. And then after that round, I was talking to my friend, and I looked at his binder and asked if I could swap these macros out for the commons I was playing. And he said yes, and then I honestly did not see macro another time for the rest of the 5 rounds. I did not draw this card. So I don't even know how I feel about that. But yeah, it's the main deck, guys. And I'll get to the side deck now. MST, like I said, good against a lot of stuff. Like, really, you could argue main decking it, and that argument is clearly there, and I admit that. Reborn, I saw this a lot, actually. It's a common, and I saw it a lot when I would side it in. And obviously it's Reborn, puts in work. 1 Nobleman, I figured everyone's going to side Snowman Eater against me, possibly. And the one time I put it in, the guy said he didn't, but whatever. Then I did lose that match, but I didn't see the card anyway, so whatever. 2 Decree, figured I don't want to lose to Chain Burn if I am doing good. Never needed it, though. 2 Cyber Dragon, another card I never needed. I figure it's good for the rogue, though, just beat over everything, and if I played machines, which I did not, so yeah. 2 Fossil Dino, I figure this puts in a lot of work against a lot of decks, really, so it's like just good. So I put that in, and I put that in like 2 or 3 times probably throughout the tournament. 1 Kinetic Soldier, figured I was gonna run into some random hero or samurai sometime in the day. I knew it was going to happen. I debated between 2 Kinetic or 2 Cyber Dragon. I figured Cyber Dragon is good against more matchups because it's good against every random rogue thing, kind of. Just beat over stuff. And I did play 1 Samurai, sided in Kinetic, saw it both games, and it put in work, and I came back from the first game loss, and that was cool. 2 Snowman Eater, figured the mirror, and like a lot of stuff, really. This kind of put in work throughout the day. It's one of the best side cards in here. Second only probably to this, Mind Crush. It's good against everything. I don't play Overworked. I guess I probably definitely should have because I have a terrible Fire Fist matchup. If I would have played Overworked, I might have done even better in the tournament. I started off 3-0. You guys are probably like, that's 14 cards. Yeah, I did play the Chimera Tech in the side deck. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, I started off 3-0. I beat Fire Fist first round, and he was not a bad player at all. His deck was shiny as hell. He had ulti everything. And I was very, very surprised that I won that match. And I did, though. And then round 2, I played some, like, Warrior Fire deck, and then I won. Granted, I lost game 1 to that. I was very scared that I was going to lose to that. But he was very nice. Yeah. And round 3, I played Heretics. They just, or Heretics or whatever, they just didn't summon any cards or play any cards, really. So I just won that, and that was cool. So I was 3-0. I was like, alright. Then I played Water, lost miserably. It was awful. We literally played 5 turns between the 2 games, probably, total, between the 2 of us. Yeah, so that was fun. And then the next round I played, I believe that's when I played the Samurai player, and I beat him, but it was a very good match, very close, I guess. And I 4K Solemn Judgmented 3 times throughout the day, 3 or 4 times. And the first 2 times I felt like a G for it because I felt like I'm good at this game, I know what to Solemn, and I figured if I Solemned I would win, possibly, and then it ended up working basically, and I felt like good at the game for knowing when to Solemn. But yeah, so then the next round I played fucking, I don't even know, Fire Fist, I think, and then I lost to that, and so I was X2 after 6 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds. 6 rounds, yeah. So in the next round I played Windups, I beat that. Then I had to play Fire Fist again, and that's just a terrible matchup for me. And so I had to play 3 Fire Fists out of my 9 rounds, and I beat 1. If I would have beat 2, then I would have probably got my invite. But I didn't, so, yeah. Then actually the last round when I was X3, I played the guy, or I played it out, because I figured, fuck it, I'm here. I could probably not get an invite X3, but I literally knew I couldn't, but I was just playing it out to play it out, because why not? I hadn't played in 4 months anyway, and just kind of wanted to win another round so that I'd not be X4, which was my final record. I started out 3-0, then I was like, yeah, just, I can't believe I finished X4, honestly. But yeah, I played Watts last round. I don't know if I mentioned that. And that deck isn't bad. Watts is not a bad deck. They are very good against this deck and probably Evil Swarm, and that's the only decks they can beat, probably. But it was just a bad matchup. I mean, I couldn't do anything. What am I supposed to do? They play a ton of continuous back row, and I have 3 MSTs. Like, I did win 1 game, and it was a match. Like, I didn't just get pooped on, but I couldn't do that much. I mean, I did have the 1 time that I Mind Crushed after he Thunder Seahorse, and that set him back a long time, but despite 3 MSTs and 3 Mind Crushes and all that searching that they do, I couldn't beat Watts because they just attack through, and if you can't stop it, you can't stop it. You just have to keep drawing back row, and if you can't, then you essentially lose eventually. So yeah, and he had Decree both games he won. He actually had Decree. No, he didn't. He didn't have it the first game. It was a grinded out first game that he won, and then he had Decree the second game, and I won anyway. But yeah, I'm not trying to justify myself at all. He was a good player, and that deck is good against this deck, so I lost. This deck isn't bad, but this is definitely very low on the quote-unquote high tiers, and I would call this a budget deck, but apparently, like, Lance and Fiendish Chain make it not budget. But I still would definitely argue that this is a budget deck compared to an $800 Prophecy deck, like, goddamn. But yeah, that's my deck profile, guys. I guess I forgot the extra deck because I'm just rambling. I'm sorry if you guys are upset with me, but yeah. That's a Zenmaines. It's a Levier. Unfortunately, Ultra, I had to trade for that to play. Leviathan, Acid Golem, card poops on stuff. No 10 tempo. If that's even debated, I don't know. It was in there and I took it out, basically, because of space. Cowboy, poops on everything. Another reason you could argue it doesn't really poop on everything, it's just a necessary card. Abyss Dweller, I didn't even make this against Water, but that's what it was in there for, obviously. Maestroke card is very good. Unfortunately, the boat came out several months ago, and he's a lot less good now. Photon Butterfly Assassin. This card, I'm running it because I obviously don't have a black ship of Khorne, and I tried to get one before the event, and I couldn't get one. And if you can't get a black ship, obviously run this card because it's still an amazing rank 4 Exceed. Just space issues prevent you from playing this card. But black ship poops. It's too good. There's like 3 occasions I would have liked to have had it, and only one made me end up losing. But yeah, I don't think any of them made me end up losing. Yeah, literally none of them made me end up losing. It's just against the Zen mains on a wind-up player, it was a lot harder to get over than it should have been. Was the one I thought I lost. Anyway, 2 Dolka, obviously. 2 Logia, Utopia. I made this once against Watts, and it's kind of amazing against Watts, because it's like the one thing that can stop them for a little bit. But yeah. He actually mind-controlled it then. I was like, man. But then I had like a back row to deal with it, but yeah. Gemini Pearl. This card gets over Ophion, I figured. And that's why it's in there. And 1 Stardust for the Starlight Road. So yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. I'm sorry for my like lack of caring attitude or whatever. Like, I'm just like a little disappointed in my performance, although I was proud of it during the tournament because I was playing a lot smarter and better. It's just Fire Fist is blatantly better than this deck. They have 2,000 vanillas that get over all of these cards. And that's just annoying, especially since your Phoenix Chain does nothing against it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and peace. Fuck, I look stupid now.